So Tonga is actually an extremely special place. I was lucky enough to go there a bunch of times even before I owned Moana. So it's this beautiful country that's pretty backwards and there's not a lot going on there, but we came across the Vavau Environmental Protection Association and built a relationship that year, and that was 2012. And Karen, one of the founding partners and current executive director of VEPA, our history is really similar. Like, she worked in French Polynesia on dive boats and been all over the world. Really that personal connection and relationship with the ocean is what's driven her over into running a local NGO. And we shot a bunch of emails back and forth, and we kind of landed on the idea of the precious plastic model, which there actually is a landfill, so it's hard to say that there's no waste management system. I mean, people are trying, there's really no structure. And VEPA has a lot of other programs and zero funding for this side, so we did it really grassroots. Through that, we were able to do education programs, really explain the problem about plastic in the ocean and why we should not let it go in the first place, and collect it as it comes up on the shores. So in Tonga, it was really nice to go back after a bunch of years and see how Karen's grown VEPA.
The recycling here is not gotten off the ground yet. We do have a recycling firm here.
She really let Lisa take the charge of our work in 2018, and even any of the follow-up in 2019. Lisa's just such a special lady, because back years even before I bought Moana, and even the first year I had her, she worked at a little cafe called the Aquarium that my friend owned. And to see her now as really the local head of an environmental organization, and so passionate. Going back to pick up the boat this year and see where they've come. It's Tonga. Its progress is slow, but the thing is, there is progress. They've got bins on every single island that we visited, so it's now 15 outer island communities that normally didn't even have a garbage bin.
So that's a big step. Waste Authority comes here now to pick up the rubbish free.
Yeah.
And prior, there was nothing ever coming off any of these islands. Only if you were on mainland, there was a possibility.
And now we see they not dumping their rubbish in the outer island. They start bringing their rubbish here to the main island.
The consciousness of the local communities are like, no, okay, yeah, this is bad. We don't want that to go in our ocean. It's making our fish sick, which makes us sick, makes our children sick. And everyone just kind of put up their hand and they're like, how do we help? And just to even go back into town and see these garbage bins arriving when their little local stock boats would take the food out before and come back empty. Now they're coming back with the empty packaging. So it's really inspiring to see. We got to do a cleanup with a few of their staff and then a bunch of friends right before we took off from Tonga this year, and it's just nice to see everyone again. And the only reason we were even able to get there or be able to sponsor anything was because of the volunteerism aspect. It was self-funded, so everyone that came and went sailing on Moana or stayed in a local house, and they were going whale swimming, and they were doing other adventures and scuba diving, but part of what they signed up for is they knew that money was going towards them. And every week we would have 2 different communities we'd go and visit and do education ceremonies with, where VEPA would do all the delivery, but we would sit by in solidarity and just support them, being like, hey, we're here to help you and your community. We're coming to visit your country. This is the smallest little thing we can do to say thanks. And I really liked that because it just added a personal touch. That's something I'd like to just keep going. It's a lot of organization and it's a lot of work. But I think people are really looking for those sort of experiences where they get to actually get engaged with the community they're visiting.
I'm going to have to come back with you.
I think we're really getting past the day and age where everyone just wants to go to an all-inclusive and have unlimited margaritas poolside. I think that there's a lot of people that are interested in, whether it's waste plastics or, like marine or coral conservation, regeneration. If you're going to go somewhere, just have a look around and maybe try to go with an operator that's really integrated and supports a local organization, so you can kind of feel like you've at least given back instead of just taking.